Some time ago, I posted a question in the course discussion for this course, and I asked, what business plan example would you like to see? And people responded. And one of the popular responses was two people asked, I'd like to create a business plan for a new beauty salon brand. And then that's Alessandro. And then right after that, Nasima said, I'd like to see a business plan for a spa. Those would be somewhat of a similar type of business. It's a local business. So let's talk about how you would plan that. To me, it's a brick and mortar business. So costs are going to be really important because many people never actually start this kind of a business precisely because the costs are large. And to start, there are a couple of costs that are particularly high. The lease in your area, it's going to be really expensive, right? That's going to be your consistent big expense. And you want to also find a place with a high passerby foot traffic, so people would see your signs. You don't want to open your place in a street that nobody walks around. That's going to be one of your main marketing long term. Where are you located? Are many people in the neighborhood who are walking by seeing your space? So you want to go around and you can either find like 4 lease signs on business office space. If you see some businesses closed and it has a sign like, looking for new tenants for lease, and it's a business space in a high passerby foot traffic area, call them. Usually the phone number is right there. If you don't want to do this kind of research on your own, you can contact a local real estate office. They'll know what the business listings are that are available. So those are the 2 ways. And then you literally schedule appointments, go visit them, look at the areas and see, how big is your place potentially going to be, and what is going to be the cost of that real estate. That's going to be a consistent cost that you have to realize. The next thing is employees. So let's say, for example, if you are doing like salon or haircut place, any kind of thing like this, you'll have chairs. So chairs represent like an employee can work there. What's the finance per employee? Does the employee expect an hourly wage? Do they expect to just give you a little cut of their earnings? So you can start to count every additional chair. That's going to be an additional cost in real estate for you. And how many employees do you want? What's the potential that you want? And what's the risk you want? Because of course you're going to say, I want great potential. I want 1 million chairs, right? You want everybody in the neighborhood to come get your haircut, but it's going to cost you more money to start that. And the cost might be at some point prohibitive. Also, it's hard to manage. And also at some point, there's just not enough demand in a neighborhood for 1 million chairs, right? So you have to understand how many chairs you can fit and count up the finances per additional chair. Let's say it's a barbershop type of place. I mean, I'm a guy, so that's what I know. So I know, okay, each barbershop has 2, 3, 4 chairs that can be serviced at a time and everybody else is waiting. So each chair has certain daily and monthly finances. And what happens if a chair is empty? You're still paying for the real estate. What happens if they're all full? Those issues. After that, there's legal and accounting costs. They're not that great, and they're typically just costs at the start. You need to find how to register the business, the basic accounting. Those things are not that expensive. There may be some licenses and permits you might need in your local area. You'd have to find that out with the local government. The lawyer can also tell you what is necessary. And there may be some remodeling. So you might want to get quotes for remodeling, like how much do these chairs cost? How much does, the initial little bit of tools and inventory cost on supplies? Can you find a place that used to be a salon? Because if you can find the real estate space to lease that used to be a salon or take over a salon, a lot of the remodeling has already been done for you, so it reduces those costs. And that's what you have to do, is sum up how much is it going to cost me to start this, how much is it going to cost me monthly, and that's how you'll know how much money you have to raise, because all the planning in the world can't start it until you have the money, and you need to come up with at least 6 to 8 months of maybe 12 months of runway before the business can become profitable, because when you open the doors on day 1, you might have very few clients and you might be operating at a loss for a little while. You'll ask, how do I get clients? Promotion for this kind of business is relatively easy. Flyers, passerby foot traffic, and of course, local search. If I'm looking for a barber shop and I'm walking around, or if I'm looking for a salon or a spa, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to look for what are the spas in my area, spas near me. And you have to do that SEO to rank higher. For local businesses, it's not that hard. So those things, they're easier. The hardest part is understanding this and coming up with the money. How do you come up with the money? Well, you have a few fundraising strategies, from savings, from doing your own part-time work or full-time work and just saving up, or you can get a loan. You can raise money from friends and family. You can do like a little fundraising, crowdfunding campaign. You can do a lot of little things and add up the money and save so that you can eventually open this. But how much do you need to save and raise? Well, this is the process of finding out so that you're not blindly doing it. And really start early in the fundraising process and the research process of this ideal space so that you are making progress all the time. Don't let this kind of a business be the kind of business you keep planning forever, never start.